Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Connie C. Walcott and I am here with another video. For those who are new to my channel, welcome and thank you for being a part of this small community. I really appreciate you all. If you are just passing by and you haven't yet subscribed, go and do so right now. Remember to turn on that notification bell so that you can be aware whenever I upload another video. Now in this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing how I really feel about online teaching. Now a lot of persons are on the outside looking in and they might think it's all a bed of roses for us as teachers. But trust me, the struggle is real. And that's what I'm here to talk about. Stay tuned. Get into the things that I don't like, the first thing I want to do is to highlight a number of things that I do like about online teaching. I don't want you to get the wrong impression or the wrong idea that online teaching is all bad. No, there are many benefits. There are multiple benefits. And there are a lot of things that I actually like about online teaching. But of course, there is a downside to everything, especially depending on the situation. Now, the first thing I like about online teaching, of course, is the convenience and the flexibility. Both teachers and students can sit down in the comfort of their homes while having classes. I mean, who would not like to be experiencing that? Even though here in Kuwait, teachers have to go into the school building to teach. I don't know, that's some sort of a policy here, but I know in most countries everybody stays at home, and that's definitely a great benefit. You know, you can arrange your schedule in such a way where you can get other things done while delivering lessons online. And also, students and teachers can access class resources from anywhere in the world at any time, right? So the just-in-time thing, that's definitely a plus for online teaching. Another one of my favorite things is, of course, virtual communication. Being able to send an email or an instant message to your teacher or to a student to find out, what they're doing. For example, if a student misses a class, you can just send them a message right away to find out how they are doing. You can easily communicate with your students and student to student as well. Virtual communication is very much flexible and convenient, especially depending on the platform that your school is using. For example, we are using Teams, and students, we have the chat option. We also have access to Microsoft 365 tools such as Outlook and OneDrive, so we can definitely share with each other. And that brings us to another favorite of mine, collaboration. Collaboration with online teaching, collaboration is made easy. You can easily share files and resources from teacher to teacher, teachers to student, and student to teacher. There's so many ways that you can share files and folders with each other. For example, if you're using Google Apps, there's Google Drive. You can easily share files. If you're using Microsoft, there is OneDrive. You can easily share files with each other. And also discussions, having class discussion. For example, you have breakout rooms where you can put students in groups and they can have discussions online. So that's definitely a plus. It doesn't take anything away from collaboration. Now, I don't know about other educators, but online teaching, it forces me to be more creative, because you cannot approach it as how you would approach your face-to-face classes. You have to bring something different. You have to bring something more engaging and something to keep the attention of the students while you're teaching online. And so it definitely pushes me to be more creative as a teacher, especially when I'm designing activities, when I'm outlining my class resources. I definitely have to be more creative, and online teaching definitely influences me to, go all out and above and beyond to ensure that I am properly catering for my students. But the overall online teaching thing, it did take me a while to adjust. It will take anybody a while to adjust to anything new. So even though a lot of my colleagues refer to me as tech savvy, yes, but still I had my moments of struggle, and I had times where I just couldn't bother. And let me translate for my friends who are Jamaican. I just could not have managed certain challenges. Now, one of my biggest dislike about online teaching is the lack of movement. Sitting at my chair, at my desk, in front of the computer for hours, not being able to move around, it is definitely annoying and bad for your health. Especially when I have back-to-back classes, and there's little or no breaks in between, it can be annoying, sitting around a computing device for hours not being able to move. Yeah, that's definitely a downside. Now let's talk a little bit about the technical difficulties and the internet. Yes, I do have some issues with the internet. I remember last week I got kicked out of my own class. I was there teaching out hell, only to find out that the internet went. Right? And so by the time I refreshed and rejoined the class, the students were like, "Where did Miss go? What happened to Miss?" It was crazy, and it happened to me about 2 times, right? So trust me, we have those things to deal with. Sometimes there are technical difficulties with the tools that we're using. So it's not always the internet, right? Sometimes there are technical difficulties, whether it's Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. None of these tools are perfect. The internet is not perfect. And so there are technical difficulties here and there that can definitely be annoying. And sometimes by the time you're supposed to sort out all of these little glitches, class is already finished, and you realize that you lose time with the students, and it's just, yeah. Now, my fellow educators, can we just reason for a minute? Let us just take a minute and let us just be honest with each other. Isn't it pressuring to be teaching knowing that there are possibly parents on the other side listening to you? Let's talk about it, because this is real. And I've taught both the younger ones and the older ones. Now, especially for those persons who are teaching KG or primary, I know that their parents, they're lurking around and listening to everything. As a matter of fact, they might even be there telling the students the answers to whatever questions you might ask. Right? And that can be very intimidating for some of us, because we don't want to say the wrong things. We have to be very smooth when we're trying, classroom management techniques, because we don't want to do anything to upset the parents. Trust me, it is very intimidating and pressuring. Now, with the older kids, I don't think most of them are being monitored by parents, but I know parents are always around and they're listening to you as a teacher. And so you have to be on your P's and your Q's, and you have to be careful what you say, because you don't want to say the wrong thing and then get in trouble with any of the parents, okay? So that's definitely pressuring. While when you're in your classroom, you have a little bit more freedom, to handle things the way you think is best, and you don't have to worry about parents judging you or anything like that. Now, for me, online teaching requires both self-discipline and self-motivation, both for teachers and students. Now, for students, it's a little bit more difficult for them to have the self-discipline to know that, listen, it's class time, and so I shouldn't be playing games, I shouldn't be surfing the net, and I need to sit and listen to what the teacher is saying. Now, most of them won't be able to turn on their cameras, and so you really can't see what they're doing. You really can't know if they're actually attentive, and so you have to be finding different ways to pull them out. Sometimes you have over 20 students in a class. You might not be able to pull out all 20 students at once, and so you have to be trying to teach them self-discipline and self-motivation while you're trying to actually teach them the content of the subject, right? So that's definitely a challenge for us as teachers. Now, let's talk about some of the areas that require practical. For example, I teach ICT and computer science, and there's a lot of practical areas that I have to teach. Now I'm teaching my grade 11s web design, right? And sometimes it is very difficult to actually help them because I can't really see their devices, I can't really see what they're doing, and I can't allow every student to share their screen so that I can walk them through certain processes. Now, sometimes I might tell them to, take some screenshots and send it to me so that I can see exactly what you're doing. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult to go through still images to see if they're doing the right thing. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but for some persons, for some subject areas where you have to do a little bit of practical, and it's better when you're able to actually see them face to face and actually see what they're doing and to help them make corrections. For me, it's a little bit difficult to be doing this online, right? Especially teaching web design, and I actually want to see what students are doing, and I can't really use the entire time to allow students to share their screen so that I can help them, right? So that's definitely a difficulty for me. Yes, guys, so that's basically some of the major things that I like and dislike about online teaching. Honestly, I prefer a blended approach. Now, what do I mean by that? There are different learning environments. You have fully online, you have blended, you have flipped classroom, and you have many other approaches. Now, fully online is, of course, where content, everything is done online. Now, blended is sort of a hybrid system where students have both online and face-to-face sessions. So they might come into the school twice or 3 times for the week to have face-to-face contact. And honestly, I would prefer that approach. Now, with flipped classroom is basically when all course content are delivered outside of the classroom, whether online, whether by handouts, video lectures, whatever it might be, and then they meet in the classroom to basically do activities based on the content. Now, I prefer a blended approach. I know some persons don't have a problem with online any at all, and online is very effective in most situations. I think online is perfect for higher education and adult learners, but I think when it comes on to K to 12, a blended approach is most suitable. And this is my opinion, guys. A lot of persons might not agree, and of course fully online can work for K to 12, but it's just my personal preference. I would prefer to have some face-to-face contact every now and then rather than fully online. So yes, guys, that's all I had to say today. Teachers, let me know how you are feeling. Let me know how you are coping. Let me know if you have faced some of these issues as well, and give me some suggestions. I'm here to take suggestions as well as to how I can overcome some of these difficulties. But let us continue to support each other during this time, and I wish you all the best. Now remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe with me via my different social media. Instagram at Connie C. Walcott, Facebook at Connie C. Walcott, LinkedIn at Constance Walcott, and let me know, shoot me a message, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, peace out.